Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another episode of the Arsenal News Show, joining you every morning at 8 a.m. UK time. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, as always, for making this a part of your morning routines. It's very much appreciated. Thank you to everybody that tuned into yesterday morning's Eat Sleep Arsenal Repeat podcast as well. Apologies that there was no usual live show, but we still nearly managed to get over 10,000 people watching that podcast in the morning, which is great. So thank you so much to everybody that continues to help support the channel, even when I'm not here. And thank you to everybody that also sent some very kind messages yesterday asking how things went, how things were. You're a nosy bunch, but I appreciate it. It went fine. Everything was okay. Uncomfortable, but fine. It's not great being shoved into a very tight metal tube and then given medication to think your heart's running a marathon, but it was fine, and I got through it, and hopefully everything will be okay. But yeah, very happy indeed to be back and talking with you all this morning. Let's say morning to people joining us in the chat box. Good morning to Johnny, to Paul, to Akmal, to Blackshine, to Marcus. Good morning to Alex and Olu. Good morning to Marcus. Need to guide him away from the rants after yesterday. Oh, was there rants? They're ranting in the chat box yesterday. I tried to tune in as I was on the train up to London yesterday and have a look at the chat box. I like to monitor things a little bit and see if everyone's behaving themselves, no one's abusing each other, but it all looks very good, to be fair. Matt G, good morning to you, to Damien, to NSW, to Jean, Amira, Martin, Afsar, Blackshine, Clincy, and more of you as well. Got a small announcement coming up after part one, so do stick around for that. Exciting stuff to do with what this is, and some more as well. So let's get straight into things. And first of all, we cannot not talk about what was a brilliant win for Jonas Eidevall's side last night in the UEFA Women's Champions League quarter-final, winning in the perfect way possible, which is just about knocking out the Germans, which, you know, is appreciated. It's efficient. It's a very efficient way of doing it. And 2-0 win over Bayern Munich. Maanum's goal is something special. If you've not been able to go and watch it yet, it's worth it just to see Leah Williamson's kind of back heel touch to Maanum for the strike. What a goal. And then Blackstenius with the header after McCabe with a fantastic cross. I'm trying to think about Leandro Trossard's cross for Martinelli against Fulham, you know, where it lofts and just lingers delightfully in the right place for someone to come in and head it in the back of the net. And yeah, Blackstenius did fantastically to get on the end of that, and Arsenal go through. It was a dominant performance, a really dominant performance, and Bayern didn't really turn up at all whatsoever, in fact, and that is going to be a very interesting end to the Champions League season. Arsenal now progress to the semi-finals, where we will obviously find out who they face very soon. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting indeed. In fact, just need to double check UEFA Women's Champions League semi-finals. Have they, like in the Men's Champions League, have they done the draw? No, it's to be determined. So we will face, is it going to be the winners of either Chelsea and Lyon? Chelsea already 1-0 up, and they've played Lyon today, or Wolfsburg against PSG, and Wolfsburg are also already 1-0 up as well. So very interesting to see how we go. And in terms of being, we play PSG or Wolfsburg, I think, actually. And yes, HMM Spike says that in the chat box. Absolutely. Edu and Arteta were in attendance last night as well for the game. It was over 20,000 tickets were sold to the fixture, which is, you know, great to see. And I was gutted I couldn't actually get down there myself for the game. Hopefully, maybe for one before the end of the season in Europe as well. But busy times working, and yesterday was a crazy day. So, but yes, hopefully we can get down to watch one of the games. Arsene Wenger has been entered into the Premier League Hall of Fame yesterday alongside Sir Alex Ferguson. I had a good chat with Dan Potts yesterday on his channel on the 12th Man podcast about this, as well as a lot of transfer stuff as well. So I recommend you go and watch that if you haven't done so already. But yeah, we had a good chat about Wenger being inaugurated into the Hall of Fame, the reasons behind it, where he kind of ranks in terms of Premier League managers. For me, I think he's probably second. I think I have to put, I think it has to go Sir Alex Ferguson, Wenger, Guardiola, Klopp. And then that fifth spot's a little bit tricky. Maybe you can let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below, who your top 5 Premier League managers of all time are. I know some people will say, well, Guardiola's won more in the Premier League, but I think it's the context around those victories for Arsene Wenger, the way in which he built those squads, which leans into it. TGT Sneeze, on testing Dan's theory, pineapple. Has that worked? Oh, it might have worked. All right, Dan, I'm trusting you. There's a bit of a tip there. Apparently, if you say pineapple, it scares away a sneeze. So evidence suggested it works. Suggestions of a green third kit for next season. Now, I should say that the footy headlines image you can see is just a concept. It's highly speculative, as you can see there, and it's just kind of a prediction of what it might look like. But it's based upon, I think, the 70s third kits, the green kit we had in the 70s, potentially recreating that style for next season. You may have seen a blue third kit concept going around. Apparently that's a little bit wider than mark. Apparently it's meant to be green for next season, so we'll have to wait and see if that does turn out to be true. I quite like it. It's quite nice. My only worry with green kits is the clash with the grass, and that might seem mad, but I know for those, when I used to play FIFA, if you ever had a green kit, sometimes the visibility of seeing seeing the players on the pitch was difficult. You don't necessarily see too many teams playing in green these days either. But yeah, green is apparently meant to be the idea for the third kit for next season. So let us know down in the comments section what you think as well. 8182 also was green as well. It says Bakary Lasagna too. Let's go into our transfers then. So Gabri Veiga continues to be a player that Arsenal are linked with rather heavily. And the Celta Vigo Player of the Month for February continues to be someone that Arsenal will be pushing for. I think that it's weird that we continually linked with these attacking midfielders. Jesper Lindstrom, of course. Gabri Veiga is this next one. I think there's one other one that's escaping my mind as well. But we keep getting linked with these attacking midfielders. And it's strange because you look at the team and you think, well, that's kind of the area that do we need another attacking midfielder? Because we've got Odegaard and Smith Rowe and Fabio Vieira that can all play there. So it's a bit of a strange one. A bit of a strange one indeed that we're seeing this link, but it's clear that Arsenal apparently want one. It does still seem to be the Jesper Lindstrom looks the more likely of the two, but these links to Gabri Veiga are not going away and are being reported more widely and loudly, it seems, as well. Moving forwards, Vitor Roque, the young Brazilian forwards, is also being linked significantly again with Arsenal. Now, according to suggestions from outlets in Spain, Barcelona were leading the race of Vitor Roque. However, because of Barca's financial situation, it's become a lot trickier. It's become a lot trickier to see them being able to go in for some of the best talents on the market. And considering the fact that Vitor Roque is one of the most talented young strikers in Brazil right now, Edu is said to be one of the key figures working on this. It might be that Arsenal are going to use those to their advantage and exploit the fact that that actually they might be able to get hold of one of these really exciting young players. I can't say I've watched too much of Vitor Roque. Marcus asked a very valid question, which is, are any of his middle names? Because if you know of Brazilian names, they are rather long. It's interesting to know whether or not Gabriel is in his name whatsoever. And I can tell you that it's not. His full name is Vitor Hugo Roque Ferreira. So unfortunately, no Gabriel in there. But very talented player, and Arsenal seemingly looking at potentially trying to sign him in the summer, it seems. So as I said before, as I expected, a striker is indeed on the wanted list for the club. And our headline story of the day. Arsenal had tried and failed to sign Declan Rice in January and actually were pursuing the player, it seems, behind the scenes, according to the Evening Standard. Simon Collins and Azar Kinsella reporting yesterday that this was the case. However, as we all know, and as we've reported, and as other outlets have reported as well, there is a continuing growing confidence that a summer move for Declan Rice will be successful. He is said to be, according to James Bend, who spoke yesterday of CBS Sports, that Arsenal are indeed confident of trying to get a deal done for Declan Rice. And potentially a summer move could happen. Again, I really do say that this is a player I would love to see rock up at Arsenal. I think he would absolutely be my primary target for the midfield, other than Jude Bellingham, who, as we know, I don't think he's feasible, unfortunately. And of the 70 to 80 million pound price tag associated with him, I think that's probably what you're going to get. Nico, potentially his middle name might be Gabriel. I need to double check that, but there's a suspicion that it could be. And if he's not, he might just pretend his middle name's Gabriel, so he can get his way into the club in the summer. Of course, he's got that emotional attachment with Chelsea, as we know, very well documented that, and I've had that reaffirmed to me as well, that he does continue to have that kind of attachment with Chelsea. However, it does seem that the confidence from Arsenal is there. The Champions League presence is there. All of the things are kind of moving in the right way for Arsenal to move for him. They've tried for him in the past. There's a long-term interest from the club, and that usually helps as well. So let's see what happens. Now, of course, with Premier League football returning this weekend, we will return with our preview shows. Tonight, 6 p.m, I'll be joined by 3 fantastic members from our Discord server to have a good talk and chat about Leeds United on Saturday. So do make sure you set your alarms for 6 p.m. UK time this evening, and you can tune in to our preview show as we look ahead to what will be a depleted Leeds side who are missing a number of players. Apparently, like Gnonto could not be there. Maxi Voba might not be there. Tyler Adams has undergone surgery and won't be there. They're going to be without some significant players as Javi Gracia attempts to try and stop Arsenal's title push. Big weekend of football, of course, with Liverpool travelling to the Etihad to play Manchester City. Everyone's eyes are going to be on that. But at 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, unfortunately not televised, but I'll be there and providing a live blog updates from the Emirates Stadium. So if you need to find updates on the game, you'll be able to follow that over at football.london. Okay, let's wrap things up there for part 1 and go to part 2. Your questions right after this. Now, I forgot to mention at the end of part 1, of course, you can get your hands on a Gabriel Martinelli signed shirt, courtesy of Football Prizes. The shirt is available for the next week, and it is our brand new prize. So don't miss out on your chance to get involved in the latest competition. You can also win just by entering a signed and framed Ray Parlour photo montage as well as plenty of Football Prizes site credit as well. Link down in today's video description. Don't miss out on your chance to get involved with the latest competition. Now, big news. The gold TGT cap is now available on our shop, on our merch store. So make sure you go over to the store, click on the TGT website. It might not be popping up on YouTube yet, but it's certainly available on the website under products. If you go and have a look, you should be able to find it. A lot of you have been requesting the gold cap, of course, and would like to get your hands on that to match the away kit for this season. And so that is now available. Same price as the others. And of course, the profits of this go to help the local manufacturer that we've teamed up with, which helped to manufacture our hats for us. And of course, it goes to support Macmillan Cancer Support and the Arsenal Foundation. So the gates are open. Make sure you get them while they're hot. Don't miss out on your chance to sport our brand new gold cap. Of course, it's global shipping. Anyone in the world can pick up one of these. You can ship it to anywhere you like. Of course, it will have a bigger shipping fee as things go. But if you're willing to do that, you can get your hands on our brand new gold TGT cap. I've got some interesting news also about a cap that's coming out just for those. At the moment, initially, we may open it up wider in the future, but for those going to the Chicago events, we're going to be doing a special initially exclusive hat that will probably open up to a wider audience in the future. But for those going to Chicago, we've got a special USA hat that we're going to be talking about as well. Okay, let's move to questions then in the chat box. Let's scroll up a bit to see what you guys are saying. Culture Mark says, greetings, Tom. Great show as always. Thank you, mate. Question, is it possible that if we win all of our games leading into the City game and City drop points, we could be crowned champions at City? What is the maths? So I've tried to work this out, and I tried to work this out a couple of weeks ago before the last few games. Now, because Man City beat, I think it was Palace, and they beat... No, they didn't beat anyone else, of course, because they were playing FA Cup football. They were meant to play West Ham. Because they beat Palace, I think that we have to win every game until City. And I think they have to lose every game, maybe draw one until we play them at the Etihad. And if that happens, we can win the league at the Etihad. I think that's how it works. But because they won that Palace game, it now meant that they've picked up the one win they needed to stop that. So we're going to need quite a few things, Mark, to go our way. But who knows? Who knows? Stranger things, as I say, have indeed happened. We can keep those fingers crossed because that would be great. Unfortunately, it's not very likely. So don't get your hopes up. Lynn says, Tom, do you feel that with the injuries that have been playing Leeds, it will become a tougher game to win? I mean, you could arguably look at it that way, Lynn. Absolutely. They might choose to sit back now and be more defensive rather than coming out and trying to attack a bit more. So, yeah, of course, there is an element of that makes me think, yeah, we might see it being a bit trickier to break them down because they might choose instead to be more defensive. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Mikey says, is Rodri rattled? Yes, he absolutely is rattled. If you haven't watched his interview after the Scotland defeat, go and do it. It'll make you laugh. I used to really like Rodri when he was at Atletico Madrid. I thought he was going to become one of the best midfielders in the world, and maybe he has become one of the best midfielders in the world. He's also become one of the biggest losers in the game as well. And that tackle on Martin Odegaard was not one of a decent bloke, let's say, which I probably doesn't care about, in fairness. Amira says, so which officially feels worse? Whatever the nurses gave you yesterday before your scan or watching Arsenal every single week? Without a doubt, what I was given yesterday, it was not comfortable. Just laying in a metal tube while your heart's going bum, 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 like 300 beats per minute. If it was that fast, I think that's what I was told. So yeah, no, that and with two like metal plates on your chest as well. No, not nice. Not nice. I tell you, I've had some heart fast rates. I've had some fast heart rates watching Arsenal this season, but yeah, nothing like that. Not nice. But we made it through. Let's go to Ben Nick says, apparently DAZN is trying to convince the Premier League for rights to all Premier League games to broadcast worldwide with no blackouts, as in the 3 p.m. embargoes. Streaming is the future. I think we can all agree that one day we're going to be watching every game on a streaming service. Whether or not that's the right thing, I don't know. I personally don't particularly like watching games on streams like Amazon because what you find is there's like you're never in tune, you're never in sync with everyone else. When you watch it on telly here in the UK, everyone's watching the game at the same time. When you're watching on a stream, you're reliant on your internet provider and your internet connection sometimes, whereas TVs, you don't have that same problem. That's my issue with it, but it's not going to stop that. It is going to be the future, which is just the way that we're headed. Vive, thank you so much for the kind donation, my friend. Really appreciate that. You've left a comment as well, which I'll read out. Vive says, none of us thought we needed another centre-back when we signed Ben White, 50 million quid. Maybe we're just as much in need of an attacking midfielder. Look, I thought that last summer, and we bought one. So arguably, you're buying two attacking midfielders on top of Fabio Vieira. That I didn't think we actually needed. I think we actually do now, in reflection, need Fabio Vieira, and we have needed him. But yeah, we'll see. The club will move for a player that they think is gettable, that they think they can't afford to miss out on. And maybe that's the case with a Gabri Veiga or a Jesper Lindstrom. We'll have to wait and see. But thank you for the donation, Vive. I really appreciate your kind support to the channel. William Salibak says, Tom, would you rather join the PGA Golf Tour or the Liverpool Golf Tour, or Liverpool Golf? I don't know what LIV Golf is. I'm only just getting into this, mate. So I'm going to go PGA because it's the one that I've heard of. I played a bit of short nine as well recently, which was great to get. Not short nine, pitch and putt. That's reopened now because we're getting towards the summer months, and my short game is the worst part of my game. I can drive now pretty well. My short game needs work. So the pitch and putts opening up again is a great benefit. And getting 18 holes in an hour and a bit is certainly a benefit to my practice. Ollie says, sorry, do you think Arteta realises that you can be the Arsenal manager on FIFA? I don't want him to leave, but he might prefer to be a manager in real life. I don't really get the question, to be honest. What do you mean? Do you think Arteta realises that you can be the Arsenal manager on FIFA? I don't want him to leave, but he might prefer it to being the manager in real life. I mean, I don't really know what you mean, Ollie, to be honest. If you mean that there's a fear of him maybe moving off somewhere else, I haven't got that fear yet. I think he's very committed to Arsenal. I I think that he's certainly going to be a manager that's with us for a long time and wants to continue this. But we'll wait and see. Haroon says LIV is the Saudi-funded rival to the PGA. Oh, I think I heard about that. It's a lot of controversies, and you have a lot of players going out to join. I don't really have an opinion because I'm not really into the sport enough. So I can't say that I'm too ingrained in the controversy to have an opinion on it. But I've heard a lot of back and forths on Sky Golf sometimes when I've chatted it on. But yeah, I'm not invested in the sport from that dynamic to care as much. Yeah, I know a lot of people in golf aren't too happy about it. And yeah, it is what it is. But I can't really have an opinion because I don't really know enough about it. So sorry that I've not been able to give you that that answer. Maximus, yes, I nearly did say fart heart rates. That's very nearly what I said. Let's go to Baron says, do we go for Tielemans and what should we do with Balogun? I think Tielemans' stock has fallen so considerably now that he's not even on the market for Arsenal right at this moment in time. I think he'll probably move to a Tottenham maybe on a free. He might move abroad on a free. I'm not sure that Arsenal are really discussing him. They really were last summer. You know, they really wanted to potentially sign him. And when he was proven to be too expensive, the club basically said, well, we can get him on a free next summer if we want to. That was my understanding of the situation. But his stock has fallen so considerably this season with Leicester that I think they're looking at other targets. Eugene says, Thomas Partey injury update. The club are pretty hopeful from the sounds of things. We'll hear from Mikel Arteta tomorrow in his press conference. Tomorrow early afternoon is that presser, which you'll be able to, of course, watch back on the Arsenal Way. But they are hopeful that he should be available for the weekend, but there's no guarantees after that issue. They may not choose to risk him with Liverpool the following week. Marcus says Saliba could be out for 2 weeks with a hamstring problem. I think I heard that has been suggested. I have seen that suggestion out there. Again, I haven't heard that. I'm going to wait for Mikel Arteta to address it in tomorrow's press conference before we make any assumptions on it. Lynn says, Tom, if you were to bet on Manchester City against Liverpool to win tomorrow, where would your lonely go? What do you mean? Where would my lonely go? Where would my money go? I assume is what you mean. Where would your lonely go? I'm not lonely. But no, seriously, my money would still go on City. Unfortunately, I think that they are going to win that game. I'm very hopeful that Liverpool turn up and surprise everybody like they did against Manchester United. It's a weird one for us. Obviously, we'd love them to beat City, but there's also that thing of if they win against City, they've got great momentum going into playing us. Maybe a draw is the best result because then it wouldn't give them the same momentum as they would get going into playing us. But, if you offered me a Man City defeat, I'd absolutely bite your arm off for it without a shadow of a doubt. Biker Trash says, I made it to a live show. Well, the end of it anyway. I hope you're well, Tom. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I'm doing very well, mate. Doing very well. Salibak says, what are your thoughts on the signing of Gabri Veiga? Apart from being another addition to our Gabriel club, is he a good long-term replacement for Xhaka? Is his name... I thought it was Gabri Veiga. Is it shortened? Is his full name... It is Gabriel. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just Gabri Veiga. Oh, okay. So his name is actually Gabriel Veiga. Thank you for that. Really appreciate that knowledge because it's important. Now my opinion has entirely changed. I think he's going to be the best player in the world and join Arsenal in the summer without a shadow of a doubt. It's confirmed. Gabri Veiga confirmed. Gabriel Veiga confirmed, we should say. In all seriousness, no, I haven't watched loads of him, I have to be honest. I thought, and from the clips that I've seen and the little bits I've seen, I'm probably going to do more of a piece on him today, doing a little bit more research, and I might do a Y-Scout analysis of him today. Oh, by the way, I know we're being linked to a lot of players at the moment. I know I've had some people say, when's the tactical breakdown on Gabri Veiga coming out? When's the tactical breakdown of Vitor Roque coming out? The tactical breakdowns I don't do until the end of the season. Reason being for that is unless we obviously agree a deal with the player before the season finishes, which we rarely do. But the reason why I'm waiting is because I like to get all the statistics for the whole season collated, and then you can make the comparisons. If I do one now, say I did a tactical breakdown on Declan Rice for next week, you've got loads of games left and the stats would be out of date in a couple of weeks. So it's not really that beneficial for me or you to have that. So I do tend to wait until the end of the season, which is only in 8 weeks or so time now, to do the tactical breakdown. So if we are still linked to Gabri Veiga, if we are still linked to Jesper Lindstrom, if we are still linked to Declan Rice, all these things, Vitor Roque, we will do tactical breakdowns on these guys in the summer. Don't you worry. They will be returning in the summer. I only do it during mid-season when we're in the January window because I don't have much choice. But yeah, we'll be doing our tack breaks in the summer alongside the 8 a.m. Arsenal transfer show. Yes, this show does not stop when the season finishes. We carry on all the way through. We're very close to hitting episode 300 of the news show, and we're also very close to hitting episode 300 of the transfer show. We've nearly done 600 8 a.m. shows, which you may struggle to believe, but yes, I've been getting up at 8 a.m. every day, for nearly 600 days. It's kind of crazy, but I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Where was I? Gabri Veiga. Yes, as I say, I haven't seen too much of the guy. I thought, from my understanding, he's more of an attacking midfielder, more of kind of where Odegaard is rather than where Xhaka is. But maybe they see him as someone that could come in and potentially fulfill that role. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to find out a little bit more. So there you go. Akmas says, just do a tactical breakdown on every player named Gabriel. Maybe we should do a video on all the Gabriel. Now I say that out loud, I'm probably underestimating how many there are. There's probably hundreds, isn't there? There's hundreds of Gabriels that I'm not even aware of. And there's going to be loads that you're not even aware of who have it as like their middle name, or in the case of Gabri Veiga, it's like covered by their nickname. I'm not doing that. That would be like a ridiculously long video. A ridiculously long video. Lynn says, Tom, how do you feel about Simon Jordan's criticisms of Arsene Wenger and Ferguson going into the Hall of Fame? I don't agree with Simon's views on that. I think it's rather ridiculous, to be honest, suggestions that they would be struggling in this day and age. That, you know, you think about the money that was involved in football back then compared to now. The building of the squads that they had during those periods was different. The way in which you constructed your 11, your squads. And yes, Man United still spent good money, big money on certain players. The identification of talent, the coaching that went into improving existing players in that group. Sir Alex Ferguson won leagues with Anderson in his midfield. I'm just going to say that again. Sir Alex Ferguson won leagues with Anderson in his midfield, right? So it's about coaching. It was more so argue about coaching, you know, with those guys. That takes away a bit from Arteta, who's obviously a brilliant coach. So is Guardiola. But I just think the coaching aspect was so much more highlighted then than it is now. I think there's a greater focus. I think that the recruitment side is kind of a greater percentage of the success now than it was then. And I think that Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger obviously deserve utmost respect for their achievements. And it's kind of mad to try and denigrate or to try and criticize those. But, you know, Simon's entitled to his opinion, but I don't agree with it. I think it's rather ludicrous, to be honest. Let's go to do the Gabriel show. We should have a dedicated Gabriel where every week we focus on a new player called Gabriel. HMM Spike says, doing this show every day is going to burn you out, mate. Maybe cut back to every other day. I just love it too much to do that, mate. And honestly, it doesn't. You know, I've got a system. I've got a routine. I'm into it. We're 600 days now nearly into this show, and we are running smoothly and fine and strong. And you guys make this amazing. I would appreciate if we could still get this over 1,000 likes every day. That'd be awesome. That's always tends to be our target. So do help out. If you haven't already clicked the like button, make sure you do. I know that classic YouTuber line, but it really helps us out and spreads the show to more people because that's how YouTube algorithms work. They love likes, they love comments, love dislikes. If you don't like what I say and you want to press the dislike button, fair. It kind of helps us. So just let us know how you're feeling about the show. But I appreciate the consideration to my mental health. Trust me, from when I was a teacher before and when I was doing therapy towards the end of my teaching, I'm very much more well aware of how to control and keep an eye on my mental health. So if I feel like I need to take a break, I'll take a break. Trust me, I know what to do. So, but I appreciate the kind consideration. Believe me, I do. Nico says, Tom deserves kudos for the grind. Thank you, Tom. I thought you were saying initially Tom deserves kudos, as in the Ghanaian attacking midfielder. I think he's a fantastic player. Maybe all of these shows will culminate in us getting some deserved kudos and him joining the club in the summer. Let's go to Clinton says, Tom, what do you think about the Arsenal concept kits going around on Twitter? Of course, we did tackle one of them earlier on today, earlier in the show. I'll throw that back up on the screen for those that didn't see it. There it is. I like it. I have my concerns about the green merging with the grass. There is that element. It sounds mad, but I think it actually could play a bit of a part sometimes. The kit certainly helped teams stand out. Do you remember there was that whole story about Man United scrapping the grey kit because it was a problem, because it was merging too much with the crowd, which is a bit of a strange one, but apparently it was. Do you think Arsenal should do a competition in the coming years where fans can choose? Yeah, I do. I'd always love that type of thing, seeing kind of the fans. A number of kind of things have happened. You think about fans coming together to work on the artwork outside the Emirates Stadium. That was all done with fan collaboration. So yeah, more fan collaboration. Absolutely. Ashton says, oh, a way of disliking the video out of love by clicking the dislike button. I mean, it's up to you. I would encourage you to drop a like on the video always, but it's your decision. You're entitled to your view. And if you disagree with me, you're entitled to press the dislike button, but I hope that you always press the like button. Lynn says also regarding the Wenger-Ferguson thing, managers have used Wenger and Ferguson as part of their blueprint, and Wenger, we mustn't forget, was one of the first foreign managers coming into the Premier League. Yeah, I discussed that yesterday with Dan. You know, the introduction of greater diversity into the Premier League that he brought from abroad is absolutely kind of one of the reasons and the catalyst for why we have such a diverse Premier League that we do now. Wenger absolutely kickstarted a lot of that. Kickstart maybe is a bit too strong because, of course, we had a lot of foreign talent coming in still before Wenger, but he certainly was a catalyst for a greater number of scouting abroad and looking to bring in players from abroad. And I think we can all agree that it has massively benefited the Premier League. And he's a big, big fact behind that, without a shadow of a doubt. Let's go to Ashton says, I like it. Fair enough. I appreciate that. I'm glad it took you. I was able to convince you to do otherwise. Paul says, has there been a season like this one where the team and each kit matches perfectly? To be fair, we've not really worn the third kit, the pink kit. I think we've worn like 2 or 3 times max. I can't see when we might even wear it again. What are our last away games of the season now? Liverpool. We could. I think we'll probably wear black in Liverpool, but because I think the pink's too close to the red. So I think we'll wear black at Anfield, which is going to be great because that kit is... I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says, and I will continue to say this. The black away kit for this season is the best Arsenal kit of all time, period. No debate, no argument. Don't come at me. I don't care. It's the best kit ever. And every time I mention it, I'm able to talk about it. I will say it because it is. It just is. I would play in that away kit every season forever. Forever, without a shadow of a doubt. West Ham, I think we've worn red there before, but we wore blue last time I think we were there. Maybe then, actually, black might be too close. Maybe we will wear the pink kit at West Ham, potentially. Man City away, we're going to wear the home kit. Newcastle away, we're going to wear the home kit. Forest away, we're going to wear the black kit because they have white shorts. So, yeah, maybe West Ham. I think West Ham's the only time we might see the pink kit for the rest of the season. If we don't see it in that game, I doubt we'll see it again this season, which is kind of mad when you think about it. Don't spam the chat, please. It gets you put in timeout. If I see your question, I'll answer it, but please don't spam the chat. It's unfair for people watching and waiting their chance. And yeah, so let's go to Doug says, how many of the black kits do I own? Only one, but genuinely I have considered buying another one with someone else's name. I was tempted to get Trossard on the back of a black kit just because of the impact he's had this season. But it's so hard to get hold of them. I don't even know if they're available on the Arsenal website anymore. Let me have a quick check. Can you buy the Arsenal away kit for this season? Men's kit. Arsenal away kit. We don't want that. We want the authentic one. No, still unavailable. You can't get it. You can't get the authentic away. Can you get the replica one? Nope. Also sold out. So I don't think I'm even going to be able to. They're all sold out still. It says, tell the club to put them back in stock. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they're not. back in stock yet. I don't know what's going on because the demand is there. You know, they could restock that and it would, without a doubt, be surely bought straight away. Maybe I need to do some digging on that. I did some digging on the tickets. If that said, if you haven't read my piece, I didn't mention it actually in today's show. If you haven't read my piece on the ticket situation yesterday, that released yesterday morning, Arsenal told, and I'd reached out to them, Arsenal told me that they've blocked 300,000 suspected bot accounts that are buying up tickets when they go on sale. Silver members tried to buy tickets for the Wolves game. Some got them, a lot didn't. And again, we've seen tickets going on sale for extortionate prices. Unfortunately, that's just the way that it's gone. Yeah, it's really frustrating for fans. It's good to get a response from Arsenal. There's a lot of quotes from fans in that piece as well. And thank you to those that contributed to that. But yeah, I suggest you go and give that article a read as well. But yeah, some are going for tens of thousands of pounds now. It's absolutely ridiculous because obviously that's the last home game of the season. We could lift the trophy in that game. So we'll have to wait and see. We're going to wrap things up there. I've been going on a little bit longer than I usually do. Thank you so much, everybody that continues to tune into the show. Really appreciate your time. As I've said in the halfway point, if you want to get your hands on our brand new gold TGT cap and help some fantastic causes as well, the link is on our store and it's also down in the video description. Just go onto the products page and yeah, get your hands on it because it looks great. And if you can't get the black away kit, you can get our black and gold TGT cap. So yeah, please do. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It's absolutely always a pleasure to speak with you. I really appreciate your time. And yeah, we'll see you again very soon. Have a fantastic day. And as always, up the Arsenal.